another episode of Hawk Off the Press. My name is Madison Hricik. I'm the Iowa football and Iowa athletics beat reporter for the Gazette. And I'm here with my coworker and Project Slow Miles co-founder, Jeff Linder, who covers high school sports and Iowa women's basketball. Jeff, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And we've got
Yes.
some important things to talk about.
Yes, this is not necessarily going to be focused on Iowa athletics or going in depth with the women's basketball team or anything this week. We are here to talk about somebody at the Gazette that you and I have a lot of respect for, and a project that you and I have created that you pitched to me about a week ago and has developed into its own thing now. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about Project Slow Miles.
Project Slow Miles is dedicated to our photo editor, Jim Slosiarek, who recently was diagnosed with brain cancer, not operable. They are attacking it now with chemo and with radiation. I think he just had his last radiation treatment a day or two ago. I think it was yesterday, and he was going to celebrate the last treatment with a cheeseburger and some fries, he said. So I think spirits are good. Brain cancer, like all cancers, is a beast, and but we're hopeful, and we are taking some action to help monetarily, financially, and hope some other people do as well.
Yeah, so we've created Project Slow Miles as a way to help spread Jim's story and also help the family financially through some of the medical bills and also just the financial burdens that come with having a loved one battle cancer. So to do this, Jeff and I have both signed up for the Cedar Rapids Half Marathon. I will also add that both of us had signed up for this before we had found out about Jim and have since decided to evolve this from a we're just going to do this because we can to we want to do this in honor of Jim. So we both will be running the half marathon in honor of Jim. And we've decided on Project Slow Miles because, well, neither of us are planning on being at the front of the pack. I certainly am not. It'll be my second ever half marathon. I believe, Jeff, you said this is your second half as well. Too, right?
Yep. Second half was a full. Yep.
Okay, so the plan for the two of us is to run this race. We have gray t-shirts that say Project Slow Miles on them that we will be wearing, and we want to be able to get as many people involved as possible. So we've created 3 different avenues for fans, readers, whoever you are, to help get involved. So first one is the simplest, and it is just by simply donating if you're able. We've created a Venmo at Project Slow Miles, slow spelled SLO. And all of that money, 100% of the money raised, will go directly towards Jim and his family. We've already raised just shy of $2,000 at this point, which is amazing.
Less than 48 hours, right?
Keep seeing that. Yeah, it's been just under 48 hours. So we're hoping to see that number continue to climb over the next month out from the race. Because that is today's May 7th. So we're exactly 1 month away from race day.
A month from now we'll be done.
That's the first way. At 2:00 in the afternoon, I would hope we're both done by then. Goodness, that'd be a long time running 13 miles.
Yeah, I think something will have gone terribly wrong if we're not done by now.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's the first way you can get involved. The second way that you can get involved is by purchasing one of the Project Slow Miles t-shirts. That shop is available at thegazette.com. There's a story where we tell you a little bit about Jim and what he means to the two of us and what he's meant to the Gazette. In that story, there's a link to the t-shirts. Those are on sale until next Wednesday, so that's May 13th. And you can purchase a shirt. You can purchase a shirt, and a portion of the proceeds will also go towards Jim and his family.
Yeah, nice shirts. The people that designed those, they're really nice. They have a camera there in that, and it says Slosiarek along the front, and gray representing the gray brain cancer ribbon, awareness ribbon. So our designer did a really nice job with that.
Yeah, so we're super excited about those. Jeff and I will both be wearing those during the race, as I mentioned. And then the last one is probably the easiest one of the 3 things you can do. But if you're available on June 7th, it'll be in the morning. But Jeff and I will be racing during that time. And we'd love to see as many people who want to be able to help support us and support Jim out on the course. You may not run 13 miles, although you're more than welcome to continue to run those 13 miles. Or if you're really feeling fancy, do the full marathon and do the 26.2. All the power to those who are doing it. But
There's
even just
also a
showing up along the
5K,
race course.
also a 5K and a 10K. And if you want to order a shirt and wear the shirt during the race, that's awesome. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. The shirts should be done in time for the race. So if you order them before by that May 13th date when the store closes, you would have them in time for June 7th. Be able to wear them along the course as well. But if you're able to run, then by all means join in the run. But also if you're able to just simply support and cheer us on as you and I conquer something that is not easy to do. And I did my first one back at the beginning of March. And I'm hoping to break sub 3 hours. Trying to run in the Florida heat after training in Iowa winter was very tough. I'm hoping now that I have the chance to adjust to a climate better than I did, that goal will be pretty achievable. But I'll certainly take any support that fans, readers alike would be willing to share.
Yeah, I will too. And these old bones don't move as fast as they used to. Not that they were ever that fast in the first place, but I'd love to break 2 hours. I think that might be a little unrealistic. If I could break 10 minutes per mile, that'd get me at 2:11. So that'd be a good starting point.
There you go. So we both have our own goals for this. I've never really been a runner. You'll learn that about me. I didn't start becoming a runner until I decided that I actually enjoyed myself during my first half marathon. And so that's been a new journey.
Tell us a little more about your running journey.
So that started just before I took this job and moved out to Iowa. My mom ran half marathons when I was younger. My middle sister, she works down in Disney World, so she does the Run Disney events all the time. She runs half marathons probably 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times a year, depending on if she's able to travel for some of them. But my family has runners in it. I just was never one of them. And I always said if I was going to do a half or a big race, I wanted it to be through Disney and it would be like a bucket list thing. So I did that. I signed up for it and I did the Princess Half Marathon right at the beginning of March. I think it was actually March 1st was when I did it. And I had a great time. Like I really did enjoy myself. And it was something I didn't think I was going to be able to do. And I did it and I decided, you know what, why not do another? And let's do one that's a little bit more local and financially feasible this time around. And so having one here worked. And then the big thing that really kind of made this fun was my family participates in the Pan Can Purple Stride every year in honor of my dad, who was a first responder to the Pentagon during 9/11 and has passed away from cancers related to jet fuel exposure. So my family would do a 5K through Pan Can Purple Stride every April. And that was a way for us to go walk on Capitol Hill, go raise awareness for pancreatic cancer, and just kind of have a memorial time for my dad. Well, this year, Pan Can Purple Stride was during Iowa's open spring practice. So I was in Kinnick Stadium during that. So I decided that I was going to try and run this half marathon in honor of my dad as a way to do that. Then we found out about Jim, and I decided, you know what? If my dad were here, he'd want me to run this for Jim. And so now I'll be wearing purple and gray. So purple for pancreatic cancer, gray for brain cancer. And we're going to do this the way that my dad would do it and put others before yourself and continue to honor those that we care about. And so we'll be running for Jim, and then I'll have the purple for my dad too.
Great. That's great. Yeah. Like we said, this is my second half marathon. First one was about a dozen years ago. I ran the Drake Relays Marathon when I was 19, and I was in really good shape then. I think when I started that race, I was 147 pounds, and when I stepped on the scale afterwards, I was 139. So I lost 8 pounds during the race.
That sounds about right.
But that was a long, long time ago, and I trained hard for it, and I paid hard for it because I was at 7-minute pace for the first 20 miles. And about that time, they talk about hitting the wall. And I think the wall hit back hard because I didn't realize I was supposed to be drinking water during the race. And and it was like a 76-degree day. And I was dragging the last 6 miles. It was kind of a walk jog thing. And I didn't know if I was going to make it, but I did, and ran that in 3:27. But a long time ago, and here we are now.
Yeah, I said you were the one that initially had encouraged me to sign up for the half marathon after my first one. And I was like, I don't know. I think I even told you, I was like, maybe I'll do the 10K. I don't know if I'm ready for another half. And then I think it took me about 48 hours later before I said, you know what? Let's do another half. Why not?
And that was when we were under the impression that it was a fast, flat course too.
Yeah.
And
before I learned that Edgewood Road exists.
yeah, going up that bridge on Edgewood Road and going up Glass Road, I think it's like miles. I don't know, a little bit before.
I think it's about 4 to 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 or 6. It's gonna be a beast, for lack of a better term.
It is. I've joked with a few people. I've started basically doing hill training, like I was a field hockey player again, to start kind of preparing for it a little bit, just so that I run most of the route, at least the one that the website has shown us, about 2 times now. 3 if I didn't have breaking news interrupt one of the runs that I had done. But I've done the Edgewood Road hill into Glass about 3 or 4 times now, just kind of up and back and whatnot. And so
what's your scouting report on that?
Long. It's just you think you're through it when you get to Edgewood, and then you realize that you got about another half mile.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think it's probably more like a mile. So
it definitely, the Edgewood hill I'm reaching a point where I've done it a couple times now where I feel pretty okay with it. It's when I get on the Glass Road where it's a struggle.
Yeah.
Because I think that the elevation certainly increases along Glass Road. But like we said, I mean, it's hard to run it when you're just by yourself listening to music. It's a lot easier when you got people around you.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's why I'm hopeful, at least, that we'll see some readers' faces, some familiar faces on the course cheering us on. I know anytime I see somebody that I recognize while I'm just running on just on a normal run day, I always seem to pick up my pace a little bit more, just because I'm like, oh, there's a friend there. It certainly helps to have a familiar face there.
Yeah. What's your running playlist? What are your jams when you run?
Everything. I lean into I took the playlist that I had for the half marathon, and I've basically just added on to it. From the princess, so it's some early 2000s Disney Channel, a couple princess songs here and there, and then I've got I dip into a little bit of classic rock. There's a couple 70s and 80s songs in there, and so I have a little bit of alternative rock. I've got a little bit of rap. It's the most chaotic running playlist I think known to man, but I like the fact. I think the thing that I like is it keeps my brain going. Because I'll just put it on shuffle. So I don't ever get bored because it's a new combination of different songs every time. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll walk this next song. And then I get stronger. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm running this one. Or my personal favorite, when I get song 2 or Take Me Out. And I'm like, oh, no, I have to do this. Or the one that really gets me is I'll get Dream On every so often at the back half of a race, which is exactly where I wanted that to show up.
Aerosmith?
I got a couple. Yep.
Okay.
That was a surprisingly good running beat, just with how much that song moves and progresses. That electric guitar back and forth definitely is a good running rhythm. But yeah, the playlist is actually just a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. But that's also my music taste in a running playlist right there.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. So,
are you a podcaster or are you a music listener?
I just run.
You got enough? Wow.
I just run. I don't have listen to. I don't know. I've always been afraid that if I had something in my ears, I get hit by a semi or something. So I'll just listen to nature around me, and whatever happens to. I don't know. I just kind of get some things in my mind. Just I fantasize that I was a good athlete, and I just thinking about what it would be like if I was a good runner. So
I always joke with my family, I cover sports, I don't play them anymore, and there's a reason for that. And then I ended up getting into running, and now I'm like, am I an athlete again? Am I starting to become one again? And then I realized that I cover college athletics, and I'm like, I'm not at that point.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
It's
awesome
okay
what you're doing. So
and I thank you for pitching this idea about doing this project, because that was a fun phone call to have, and I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and we really have to throw a shout out to Bailey Cichon and what what they have been doing to really support this.
Yeah, Bailey's done an amazing job helping elevate. They've been taking care of all the behind the scenes stuff for us, so that we're able to continue to talk about this project and spread the word. So anytime you see a story about it or a video with us in it talking about this project, Bailey's the one that's behind the scenes making all of this possible. And so they have been knocking it out of the park with getting this together and making this not necessarily just a pipe dream or something that we put on Twitter one day, but making this something that the community is aware about. Because the reality is if you have a photo or a clip of a newspaper that has a photo in it, or a scrapbook of old stories, or your high school athlete or was a high school athlete out here, Jim probably took a photo of you at some point, whether you knew it or not.
Yeah, and like I said, he's been instrumental in the courtrooms in the cornfields of Iowa. I don't know if you're aware, but he has been very instrumental in our Pet of the Week program, and has always been the one who's kind of set up and gotten the cat or the dog to look really attractive, getting their attention, get their ears up, and all that stuff. And I wonder how many pets have gotten a really nice home because of Jim.
Oh, I do wonder that. That's a wonderful question to ask.
Yeah.
I do like that question. Athlete of the Year is something he's heavily been involved with as well. And I know that's something that you spearhead every year as well. So that's something that is very important to the Gazette, but also to the community that Jim has been a part of. So many Iowa athletics events. I mean, so many: football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, softball, gymnastics, you name it. He's been to at least one of those in the last 20 some years he's been with the Gazette.
I guess a couple things I wrote about. We took the trip to Greensboro, and he was kind of a savior when I got a little bit car sick in the hills of West Virginia. We went together to Lincoln when we thought that maybe Caitlin Clark was going to get the scoring record, and instead they got beat. And that was the I've Got a Plane to Catch game from Lisa Bluter. And one of the best stories that we did together, we went to Kansas. We went to Nickerson, Kansas in November 22, shortly after Ava Jones was injured so dramatically. And she and her mom, Amy, were so welcome to us as far as coming into their home, talking with them. And Jim took a lot of really good pictures that day. So just some things that I'll always remember. And I know he's been a kind of a guiding light to you too, as far as your photography career is concerned.
Yeah, I'm still learning, and just getting a chance to pick up a camera and try and take still images. I'm totally comfortable in front of a video camera. I'm totally comfortable on a stage and radio booths, wherever. But still photography is something that I never had a chance to really completely get comfortable with, and it's something I wanted to get comfortable with. So Jim told me exactly what to look for with my first camera, what kind of camera body I needed, what kind was useful, what was going to be worth the bang from my buck in terms of, if I were to use a company lens, I would need this type of camera body, and if I needed to have something that was a little bit more user-friendly, this is what I needed to look for to still meet those requirements. And he was instrumental to that. Him and I also were usually sat next to each other during our staff meetings. And so the two of us would quietly catch up while everyone was figuring out high school stuff. Him and I would chat about weekend plans, or he'd give me a hard time because I'll never forget, I was joking with him. He was next to me when I found out that Post Malone was coming to Ames over the summer. And he was laughing at me while I was trying to quietly be excited about the fact that Post Malone was coming to Ames and how I needed to set an alarm to be able to get tickets for that concert. And so, but he's always been a friendly face. I've asked him way too many rookie questions and he hasn't batted an eye at me about it either. So he's somebody that has really been super kind and welcoming throughout my first year here, because I can't believe I have to say that I'm almost done with my first year here.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
It does. Exactly. but we're so glad that he's been doing well. He's been battling this cancer like a champ, as we all kind of expected it to happen.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to hopefully seeing him around relatively soon, whether that be on the at the finish line on the course on the 7th, or even better, hopefully back soon with a camera in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to add?
I mean, like I said, I mean, we're gonna be talking about this for a while leading up to the race on June 7th. But that Venmo is going to be open the entire time at Project Slow Miles. You can donate either the flat donation fee, or if you want to do per mile, it's 26.2 for the two of us. Obviously, 13.1 for the half. So $26.
Has anybody done the per mile thing, or
yes,
it
has. I've gotten a handful of those.
Okay.
I've seen a handful of those donations come through. Sometimes it's usually just $13.10, or
That's great.
A few people have done $26.20 because they're running the full, or they're doing 26.2 for both of us running the halves. So we've gotten a couple of them, which is super fun.
Yeah.
But you have the choice if you choose to do that way. We're hoping here to be able to share some more details about Project Slow Miles as the donations continue to roll in. But if you're able to wear a Project Slow Miles t-shirt, if you're going to run, even better. If not, feel free to bring a sign. Feel free to hear loudly. I'm sure Jeff and I will need it as we cross over the top of Glass Road coming back down.
Yeah.
Or down in Newville.
When we come down the stretch here at miles 11, 12, 13.
Exactly. So we thank you guys so much for being so appreciative and supportive already. We can't wait to see what this project continues to grow into over the next month as well.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this, how it started, and really, really encouraged by the early returns. Yes.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for doing this with me. And thank you for coming on the podcast in the middle of track season as well. It's a busy time of year for you because, well, I don't think you slow down ever. Right?
I get about 2 or 3 weeks after state softball.
There we go. Okay. So another couple months and we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's right.
But you guys can follow for more Iowa athletics content at thegazette.com. Sign up for the free newsletter with this exact same name, Hawk Off the Press, that comes out every Friday morning. As we go into the summer, Hawk Off the Press podcast will happen as we're able to, as we hope to bring on some new guests throughout this summer. And we can't wait to talk to you guys and hopefully see you guys on the race course here in a month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.